So tell me about your blog and how long you've been writing it and what's it all about. You might mention the name of your blog too.
That's a good point. My blog is called Geeky Humanist. It's on Freethoughtblogs, and this particular blog I started in March of 2016. So incredible as it sounds, it's coming up to almost 5 years that I've been on Freethoughtblogs. And before that, I've been a blogger for it's about 15 years now. I started when my son was a baby and originally blogged about motherhood related stuff, and then when my children got older, I started blogging about atheism, and then I saw the advert for Freethoughtblogs and joined Freethoughtblogs.
Very good. So what's your process? How do you decide what to write?
I'll write about stuff that interests me, or actually I'm very slow and disorganized about writing, so a lot of the time I won't write about stuff that interests me. But what I try and address is either reviews of books I read, because I like writing the sort of detailed review that really goes into a questionable or problematic book and dissects it bit by bit, or reviews of subjects that I happen to know something about, on which people have kind of misrepresented the science or the evidence, or questions by people from different viewpoints who are saying, okay, what do atheists have to say about such and such? What do skeptics have to say about such and such? Can you explain this? In which I like, answering their questions and getting to grips with any fallacies and putting across my point of view.
Okay, and how do you engage with your readership?
I have some commenters whose words I really enjoy reading, and unfortunately, and I apologise to my commenters for this, I'm not as good as getting to replying to comments as I'd like to be, but whenever I can, I like to just sort of reply to things people have said and take them up on, if they say something that I disagree with and I want to explain my viewpoint, I'll do so, or we get into some good old debates in the comments sections, and other times it's just saying hi to each other and thanking them for posting.
Very good. Okay, well, that's enough about your blog. Now you have to tell us about who you are. So what do you do when you aren't writing? What gets you up in the morning? What kinds of things are you enthusiastic about outside of the blog?
Can you still hear me? I think the system's crashing.
Yes,
hello?
I can hear you just fine.
Good. It seems like you've come back again. You kind of it went all a bit weird for a moment there. So yes, I'm a GP. I work part-time in the UK, and I've got children who are 16 and 13 years old, and I love reading. I love reading internet articles with interesting or controversial viewpoints. I love reading books. I've been a bookworm all my life, and so when I'm not writing, I'm usually reading, or at work, or catching up on work, or trying the very long, slow process of clearing out all the clutter in my house. So that's me, and that's my life.
Okay, well, that leads into a good question here. So what other blogs do you read? And you might also mention what other books you're really excited about right now. So recommendations, please.
At the moment, I've just been reading Benedict Jacka's series about Alex Ferris, because he's just written the 11th book in a 12-book series that he's been writing over a series of many years. And he's just finished an Ask Me Anything over on Reddit, which I bombarded the poor chap with questions about all kinds of things in his blog. And when you wrote this, were you inspired by such and such? And credit to him, he was very good about answering them. Yes, if anyone likes urban fantasy with magical systems, do go and read Benedict Jacka's stuff. What else do I read? Let's see. I've I read a pretty wide variety of stuff, but in terms of whose blogs I read, Captain Awkward, the advice line, is a really good one. Anna Mardol's blog, he writes about the same kind of thing I like, snark book reviews, and in his case also snark film reviews and snark game reviews. But no, when I say snark, I mean just analysing things in quite a lot of detail. So that's definitely a blog I'd recommend. Libby Ann over at Lovejoy Feminism, and also the personal Facebook page of a friend of mine who posts a lot of different thought-provoking articles in the sort of political left wing and gay and transgender rights spectrum, who's on Twitter as Teacher Griff, I believe. And books, what else have I been reading apart from Benedict Jacker? I've recently been rereading Guns, Germs and Steel by Jared Darmond, and I'm sure I've been reading other stuff and I'll think of a whole bunch of it as soon as I've hung up. So
Okay, very good. So what's next? What are your plans for the future?
In terms of blogging, or in terms of
your choice?
Let's stick to blogging. The rest of my future is either that I keep going with what I'm doing, or all kinds of complicated stuff regarding stuff going on with the kids, and we're not going into it. So as far as my blog's concerned, yes, I want to keep going with the kind of stuff I'm doing. I've got a long list of books that I would love to review at some stage, and I'm sort of going back and forth between them and reviewing bit by bit.
All right, sounds very good. So maybe a few people leave comments about recommendations for more books for you. We'll see.
Actually, I tend to review the sort of books that I very much don't recommend. I started out with a very bad apologetics children's book, which I reviewed jointly with my daughter, who is also an atheist and happened to be at the sort of age group the book is aimed for, and had quite a lot to say about it. And I had even more to say about it. And now I'm reviewing a very, very bad romance novel. So
okay,
yeah,
so,
come along and join in absolutely pulling it apart in all its messy terribleness.
so anti-recommendations are what you really look for then. Okay, well, it's been
Pretty
good talking
much.
to you. Yeah, it's been good talking to you, and we'll be in touch, and we'll be following your blog in the future. Thanks very much.
I hope so. Thank you. Take care. Have a good weekend, everyone. Bye-bye. Take
Bye.
care.